I knew there's no way you could make it kindergarten.
Birds.
Already up on the board here. Yeah, I did take the liberty to draw out some caricatures here. No, I am not a self-model. Random person, that is not accurate. Your warm-up is on the left side, the workout is on the right side. You've got to lead this side. Fight for the whole time. So when you guys come in and do the workout on your own, you will have this also to follow. Let's go over the warm-up real fast. Some of them we've done before, most of them you've done before. This little guy right here who has his heels down and toes up is getting ready for our first exercise, the hip bridge. What we need to remember, as simply as this is, and if you guys got all your print-ups already, when you do the first round of these warm-ups, you're only doing 5 reps at a time. The whole idea is, I think it's 5 rounds of 5 reps. You're going to try and run through the circuit as fast as you possibly can, only doing those 5 reps on each exercise. There is a printing mistake. Down by the fast feet, slow arms, where an exclamation mark, 15 seconds. I believe all it says on your printout is 5. It's not 5 seconds. Put a 1 in front of the 5. 15 seconds. Yes. Everything else is 5 reps. The last exercise is 15 seconds. So real fast, the hip bridge. We're pushing through our heels, so we put our toes up. I'm going to drive my tailbone up, push my belly out, squeeze my glutes, and come back down. You're going to do that just 5 times. Then you're going to flip right over to a plank position. You're going to drop your hips and lift them back up. We've done this in the station before. You drop your hips and lift them back up. By sucking in your abs, you're raising your hips up when you're face down. By squeezing your glutes, you're raising your hips up when you're lying on your back. Next exercise, the third one, you're going to do an opposite arm and leg extension. Pointer. Reach towards the wall with your arm. Reach back towards the wall with your foot. Your toe should be flexed. And you're going to switch sides. 5 each. After the pointer, we do another hip movement. Now lying on my side, I'm going to raise my hips up by squeezing the bottom obliques. And drop back down again. Another one we're doing 5 of each. Make sure your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. If in a full plank position you're having difficulty because you feel stress on the shoulder, you can take this hand and just kind of pull it in towards you. It'll add some support to that shoulder. If it's still no good, you go to a modified position where your knees are bent. And you can do the side plank raise from there. That's 5 each side. After the side plank raise, you go back to your back, hold on to the hamstring. Don't pull it too far into. You should only hold it close enough where when you lock out the leg, you can get it to extend all the way. All the way extend. And then recover back down. You're going to do 5 on the right leg, and then 5 on the left leg. Last part of this rotation is the fast feet, slow arms, which you've done before. Again, you have to correct it. It's not 5 seconds, it's 15 seconds. In an athletic ready position, your hips are back. You're going to fast feet your feet and slowly move your arms the whole time you're watching the clock for 15 seconds. As soon as you finish that 15 seconds, you go back to the second round. Then you do a third round. I think it says 4 rounds in total. Once you finish 4 rounds, and once you did the 5-minute aerobic warm-up beforehand, you're ready to start the workout. Let's review. The top 2 are the most difficult. And in this first position, when we do a suitcase deadlift, I'm going to be holding out the dumbbells. Those 2 arrows that I'm showing here are critical. When you bend into a suitcase deadlift, you want your hips to go back and tailbone slightly up. You don't want to drop your butt like a squat. So in a suitcase deadlift, I'm holding the dumbbells to my side. My butt goes back, my tailbone lifts up. Then I can unlock my knees. In this position, you should feel a hamstring stretch. If you get the hip bridge position, the hip back position the right way, the only other thing you need to worry about is tension in your shoulder blades and lower back. If you look at the arch in my back right now, all these muscles in my back are feeling like they're going to cramp up. If I'm here, see the difference? That's no good. This is really bad. We want to get as arched and squeezed back as tight as you can hold it. That's when you've got the form of the suitcase deadlift properly. If you can maintain that, it becomes a very strong movement. So for most of us, grabbing the 5-pound dumbbells, if your form is good, doing suitcase deadlifts isn't going to do anything. It's not heavy enough. It's a movement where you can hold heavier weights, especially when we're only doing 10 reps. Last time we did the first workout, I think I said you have a range of 2 or 3 reps left when you're trying to figure out, well, how heavy should I be? By the time you get to 10 reps, maybe you could do 3 or 4 more, maybe even 5 more. We don't want to get so heavy where on your 10th one, you are now starting to pull up like this. You should be free to at least be able to do 3 or 4 more past the 10 rep. That's your suitcase deadlift. Next exercise, the reverse lunge to an overhead press. In that position, all I tried to make sure in the drawing was that those dumbbells are centered directly over his back knee. So when I'm holding the dumbbells in this rack position, my elbows are up, I'm going to step back and keep my knee directly over where I'm setting those dumbbells. Then I drive out of the front leg to recover up. Back knee down. If we look at the shin angles again, you can see it in the picture. This shin angle should be perpendicular to the floor. This is no good. And in the step back, if you look at my thigh angle back here, that is also perpendicular to the floor. It should not be way back like this. So sometimes what you have to do if you're having trouble with the reverse lunge is go in the down position. Start here. Let's say you have very light dumbbells, and drive out of it from there. Then you can go back down, knee down, look at your position, straighten your torso out, and then drive up. That's if you're having trouble finding that back angle. If you're okay with that, we are starting here, dropping the back knee down, drive out of the front leg, and recover. When you recover, we have to add an overhead press. So if I'm going to reverse lunge with my right leg and dip down, I'm going to finish with a full extension press. I'm going to do 5 in the right leg, then 5 in the left leg with the overhead presses also. Third exercise, we're doing just a standard push-up. The dot, dot, dot to an arrow is to show you that if you were looking down at the floor when doing a push-up, that arrow should be out in front of your fingertips, not looking down in between your hands. This is not a push-up. I want my chest to come down in between my hands. So those little arrows are clearly out in front of my fingertips. And back up, you're going to do your 10 push-ups either in a regular push-up position or even in a modified position with my knees down. My face still finishes clearly in front of my fingertips. And back up. It's an easy way to correct a push-up. After that push-up, you can use any of the bands in the gym that we have connected all over the place. If this is for the home workout people, they're going to have to go out and purchase a $15 band. $5? Five Below has that. It's a great addition to your home workout. Attaching this band, all I did when I looked through was put the handle through the middle of this handle and it'll tighten up. We're going to go the pulling side leg back, heel off the ground. This glute is tight, and now I'm free to do a single arm row. When we row, we retract the shoulder back and down. Do not shrug it up. So if I'm rowing on this side, I'm not going to shrug up. I'm going to retract it back and down, and then pull. This leg, the back leg glute, is tight to stabilize the hips. Once we finish the one-arm band row, 10 each, we're going to go back down to the ground to do a hamstring hip bridge. In order to fire my hamstrings, I have to put my knees in almost a locked out position. Right now they're locked out. I'm going to add a little knee bend. I'm going to cross my hands over my chest, and I'm going to try to lift my hips off the grip. That's an instant hamstring contraction. If you don't feel your hamstrings right away on that, you're probably like this. Going up to my hamstrings. Go to that straight leg position, put a little bend in, and raise them up. By the time you get to 10, they will probably start cramping up. I think that's what we're looking for. Straight leg hip bridge. Then, when we get to the sit-ups, you are allowed to put dumbbells down on the ground and anchor your feet underneath it. This is not going to be heavy. I'm going to show you what it is. These dumbbells will hold my feet down. I am now free to either cross my hands over the shoulders, come into a sit-up, 4 fingertips behind the ears, slightly more difficult. You're doing 10 full sit-ups with your feet anchored down. After that, I think on the first workout for biceps and triceps, we did a similar move. With the dumbbells, you're going to do a dumbbell headbanger. From my elbow to my shoulder stays 90 degrees. As I bring the dumbbells down, only my elbows move. I'm not bringing that upper part of my arm back. You will see, look around, everybody does their headbanger, and they start to move their elbows back. And they wonder, why am I not doing it in my triceps? Because then that's a lat exercise. As soon as your shoulder moves from here to here, the lat engages and pulls it up. We have to keep the elbow moving for the triceps to engage. So for that dumbbell headbanger, you're going to bring the dumbbells right to the outside of the temple and straight back up again to a locked out position. The only other thing you can do to foul this one up is as you bend, your elbows are going to separate out. They have to stay in close. Same distance they're apart when I started, they remain at the bottom of the movement and back up. And then finally, on your feet, our favorite exercise, you're holding the dumbbells at your sides, posture upright. You're going to start in a hammer position, curl them when they're halfway up the shoulders, and back down again. A standard bicep curl. Those are your exercises. Like the first workout, you're doing it in a circuit fashion. You're going to go through the whole thing, then repeat 4 times. All these sets have to be done 4, and all those will be done. I'm looking at her to find out how many sets. That's it. How many of you are going to stay to do the measurements? I think some of you emailed us already on who's going to stay. I think Katie's ready. We're going to get started right now. Questions real fast on this. Because if I'm here and you're here to do the workout,